Well, the boys backstage on Monday Night Raw got a big surprise when they found out that their entire script that was written had been torn up and replaced by none other than Vincent Kennedy McMahon with his mustache and his mustache. Vince McMahon back in charge of creative, at least for Monday Night Raw. Now, he was not at SmackDown, so it does remain to be seen just exactly how big of a role Vince is going to be playing and shit. You know, everybody's saying Triple H is still the guy in charge. But Vince was certainly the guy backstage in charge of Monday Night Raw. If you don't believe me, check out this clip from Sean Ross Sapp over at Fightful, who broke the story.
Vince McMahon back at Raw. Fightful Select covered this to an extent in which I don't think anybody else did, although there was some great reporting by Dave Meltzer and Mike Johnson. We had just a ton. We had a huge story on Tuesday about the locker room morale. I had a higher up in WWE that called me on Tuesday, Jimmy, and they said, so what are you hearing and what do we need to know? And I said, it's the worst locker room morale I've seen since Royal Rumble 2022.
And that was considered the down point. Yeah.
That was the lowest I've ever seen it.
Yes, yes.
So there are 3 WWE related things that I have gotten this many messages about. Okay, 4. The Vince thing. And I guess you could count him weaseling his way back in. Royal Rumble 2022 and Hell in a Cell 2019. It was bad. It was really bad, and it was really bad between 7 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Eastern, Jimmy, because there was this talent meeting at 6 where they were being told, oh, well, nothing's going to change. And then at 7, things were changing. And somebody's saying, I didn't need a report that Vince McMahon was back in power. It was self-evident. No, it wasn't, Jonas, because you had people that had shows swearing up and down through January, February, March. He's back. He's back. I know he's back. I know he's back. No, now we know he's back when he's literally running up and tearing up the script. And to be quite honest with you, I don't know if a whole lot of people would have known based on this show that Vince was back had we not reported, well, these 2 matches got canned. This one got slid in. Omos was backstage eating a Cinnamon Toast Crunch and got told you got a match. Like that. Yes, it did require some level of reporting, or else you probably wouldn't have known that Vince was backstage. You got the tells of Vince McMahon. And there are several. I've constantly said rematches are going to be one. Getting title shots off of losses will be another one. But a couple of them that we saw, almost no wrestling in the first hour, commercial-free hour, and tearing up that script, Jimmy. We certainly did see it.
The worst morale backstage since Royal Rumble 2022. This was the point in time where WWE was pretty much dead and AEW was firing on all cylinders and people were wanting to jump ship. You know, people forget already that there was a point in time where everybody wanted to go to AEW from WWE. AEW was the lifeboat for WWE because Vince McMahon is an insane old fool and nobody wanted to work for him. Now Triple H takes over. Vince is gone. Now all of a sudden all these fucking turncoat dirty ass bitches want to flip-flop and fucking and backtrack and turn around on their opinions and want to go back to the WWE because Triple H is in charge. And all of them motherfuckers ain't saying nothing now because Vince McMahon is back in the chair. And we had all heard, we had all speculated, you know, when Vince was pushing his way back into the company, people were already saying it's not going to be long before he's already involved in creative. Triple H had already said, yes, Vince is pitching ideas, but I'm still the final say. And now it's official. He was tearing up scripts. He was changing matches. He was removing, cutting matches, making changes. He made changes to WrestleMania. Does that sound, whether he was at SmackDown or not, regardless, does that sound like Triple H is in charge of creative? If Vince McMahon can just come in and fucking just do that. You know what I mean? Like, just fucking come in and just change everything on the fly like that. So a lot of people are pissed backstage. People, there's rumors Bayley doesn't want to be there anymore. I had been pitching for a while now, on a couple different segments. I had pitched Bayley leaving WWE, joining Mercedes as a fucking, like, outsiders, like a 2-woman power trip. Like, just fucking them two out tearing up the indies, tearing up AEW, Forbidden Door, whatever it is, fucking just be the outsiders, you know what I mean? Like the female version, not copy it, but them too as not even invaders, just an outside force, kind of like they're trying to do with Saraya and her fucking bitches over there, Ruby and Tony Storm. But I think it'd be good. Pair her up with Mercedes and have them fucking go on a run. I've been saying Bayley needs to leave WWE for a little bit ever since Sasha made her debut for New Japan. I think that's a good fit, though I don't know that she's going anywhere necessarily. It could just be towards a storyline, or who knows what's going on. We don't have all the details, but we have heard, the Grizzled Young Vets asked for their release, but they're from NXT and nobody cares anyway. Let's be real. Everybody talks about that as a big story. Nobody gives a fuck about the Grizzled Young Vets. They're in NXT even, for fuck's sakes. Nobody cares. And that's not a take away from them as a tag team or anything. It's just, the Grizzled Young Vets are threatening to leave, or they asked for their release. I'm sure Vince is crying about that. Oh no, Endeavor better remove Vince because the fucking Grizzled Young Vets are asking for the releases. But Sean Ross Sapp reports that there's tons. This is the lowest backstage morale has been since it was at its worst before. So it's not just those people. But you know what? These wrestlers sound like a fickle bunch to me too, because as I was saying earlier, they were pissy with Vince and they all wanted to go to AEW, and then Triple H takes back over and now they all want to go back to WWE. Now Vince is back, now they all want to leave again. Fuck off. You know what I mean? Like, pick a company and go with it. You don't get to play favorites like that. Fucking fair, whatever, side of the fence is greener at the time. Oh, the sun's over here, so I'm going to hop over here. Now the sun's shining over there. I'm going to hop over on that side now and get it on both sides. Fuck you. This is what you get. You're a WWE person. You're a Vince McMahon person. Vince in charge, though, is not going to be good. Raw was crap. Nobody really liked it. Not a lot of wrestling. I find it funny, though, that people complain that there's not enough wrestling on WWE, but then hate AEW because there's too much wrestling. Can you just maybe watch both shows and get your fill of each, promos and in-ring stuff? I don't know. Just a thought. But it's not a good look that Vince is back in charge. I'll say that. It's not a good look for Triple H. All his credibility, everything he's built is shot. People aren't going to want to jump back so easy. Look what happened with Cody Rhodes, dude. That say what you will about, they're telling a bigger story or whatever. He still got the main event WrestleMania, and I kind of agree with that. But you're not going to convince, there's going to be people that were looking at Cody's push from AEW that are maybe going to think twice now. Though we'll address that in a later segment because I don't think that that's fully a fair take either. That's a very nuanced story. But certainly there's other things, these are just some of the things that guys in AEW are going to look at and maybe think twice about wanting to hop back over to WWE or hop over to WWE. I think as long as Vince is in charge, and not only as long as Vince is in charge, because he's going to keep doing that. The Monday Night Raw was not the only time he's ever going to fucking tear up a script and rewrite it during the show and cut matches and stuff like that. It's going to be a thing now until he's gone. And then when he's gone, then what? Endeavor's going to... it's a whole nother company that does not know pro wrestling. They're going to have to keep wrestling people in charge. Hopefully Triple H... But, maybe he'll get sick of this shit too. Who knows? But certainly people are on high alert for WWE's creative at this point. Is it going to continue to go in the gutter now again? Is Vince going to tear up more scripts and be more in charge, more hands-on with this? Or was that just kind of a WrestleMania one-off and he's going to leave the meat and potatoes of it back up to Triple H? And even so, Vince McMahon even said in that interview that he did with CNBC with Ari Emanuel, is that he's not going to get into the weeds of creative, but he is going to oversee creative. So certainly if there's something he doesn't like or he feels strongly about or differently about than Triple H is going to get overruled. So ultimately, Vince McMahon is back in charge of creative.
Oh yeah, thanks for checking out the video. Yeah, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like it if you liked it. Yeah. You can check out full episodes each and every Sunday right here on the channel. Ooh yeah, dig it!